Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, my name is Rifa Nurfalah. I am from English Educational Department of STKIP Muhammadiyah Bogor. Here, I will give a review for film Alice in Wonderland and Gorys keraf books entitled Composition as a midterm exam for the academic listening and speaking course. So, let's get started. Okay, let's get started with film Alice in Wonderland. Alice is back, yes, after its last appearance on the big screen in 1951, this popular bedtime story, made by Lewis Carroll, who is over 100 years old, is finally being present again. Of course, with the presence of new ammunition. It is hoped that this modern version of Alice in Wonderland will be pleasant and more enjoyable for all ages. One of them by appointing Tim Burton to be the director of this film. Yes, the greatness of Tim Burton's name is clearly the big magical force for the film distributed by Walt Disney Pictures. However, the conflict present are too ordinary, lacking in kick and too friendly, so it seems that this film might only be interesting if watched by audience under the age of teenagers. Maybe only the climax at the end of the film can be said to be a little able to make adult audience wake up from their sleep. Weak in terms of story, but not in terms of technicality, especially in the depiction of the world of Wonderland and in inhabitions, it is extremely amazing. Full of color, but without losing Burton's good, imaginative and artistic characteristic. The cartoon version of the characters was successfully remade by Burton to become much more lively, interesting, and seem a little scary. Among all these characters, of course, the most awaited is the presence of Johnny Depp, who did not appear too special in presenting the character of the Mad Hatter. Even though the appearance of this actor, who has often collaborated with Tim Burton, has been altered here and there, it is not very impressive. In fact, you could say that his character as Willy Wonka is much better than this. Preciously, the only character that is most memorable is the character of the Red Queen, who was delivered very nicely by Helena Bonham Carter. Don't miss the performance of Anne Hathaway, who plays the role of the White Queen. Even though it's only for a short time, but it is enough to attract the attention of the audience with her unique grace. Overall, even though it was a great success financially, Alice in Wonderland is still difficult to include in the list of Burton best films. Weak in storytelling and only relying on extraordinary visual, Alice in Wonderland is only interesting to be used as a family film. Okay, that is enough for a review film of Alice in Wonderland, and go to for review a book from Gorys keraf with title is Composition. Okay, let's get started. Professor Dr. Gorys keraf is a professor of Indonesian whose existence is no doubt in the world of Indonesian literature. He has written many books, especially on the basic of Indonesian language. One of Gorys keraf essays is a book entitled Composition. This book was originally written by Gorys keraf because he received the trust of the leadership of the Indonesian Language Department, Faculty of Letters, University of Indonesia. He was assigned to give lectures on Indonesian language proficiency in the department. The task he carried out was difficult because, firstly, such a lecture had never existed before in the curriculum of the Faculty of Letters at the University of Indonesia. The second, there is not yet a clear guideline or plan for the form of the proficiency course material. This composition book consists of several stages. In the first stage, this book describes the most fundamental foundation for language proficiency as stated in the chapters on punctuations, sentence, and alineation. In the second passage of this book, it's review the method and principle of writing a paper as described in the summary, reports, and review chapter. And then, composition book describe not only written language proficiency, but also oral language skill. This stage is the third stage, namely the ability to think critically and continuously and to be able to express it in clear and fluent language. In this third stage, several principles specially describe the use of spoken language in the speech chapter. This book is very useful in relation to exploring and developing the Indonesian language skill of its reader so they can use Indonesian both in writing and orally properly and correctly. Okay, maybe enough for me. There is review about film Alice in Wonderland and then a book from Gorys Keraf entitled Composition. So, thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.